That's the logic of the Cloward-Piven socialist argument is that, you say, okay, well, we don't want to disadvantage these children coming across the border, or certainly we care about poverty. And, clearly the workers around the world, we want to help the world develop. So using good, normal human emotions, these agreements are put into place, which are completely at odds, which will destroy the system. The architects like Jean Monnet, who designed the European Union, socialist, background, they all said, well, if we could just have a united Europe, we wouldn't have a World War III. World War I was the rise of Germany, against England and France. World War II was a repeat. We don't want Germany rising again, so we'll create a North American, we'll create a European Union. Well, that was a lie. That whole thing was a lie. It was designed from the beginning to make Europeans be one government. And the government is in Brussels and Luxembourg. You get unappointed, unrepresentative, not elected bureaucrats, nameless bureaucrats writing your laws, producing volume after volume of rules and regulations that you have to obey. And pretty soon you've lost your freedom. That's the goal from the beginning. And to wake people up to see that they're being led along this path step by step, as the Cloward-Piven is a lying strategy and it's a progressive strategy. It's put into place a little bit at a time, always previewing a little bit ahead, but assuming, even when you've lost, even when the North American Union didn't get voted in, even when the Security and Prosperity Partnership had to be disbanded because of criticism on President Bush. President Obama comes in and presumes that North America is already going into place because the idea has already been lodged in people's minds.
Oh, yes. And do you see any sign whatsoever that there's anyone in the GOP that is effectively going to do anything about it? I mean, we see that the NDAA Act, where they say the military can arrest people at will and just disappear them off the street, hold them indefinitely without due process, that's a bipartisan issue. It appears that certainly the GOP leadership is fully on with this. They call it immigration reform, but we haven't seen any pushback against what Obama is doing from the GOP. Have you seen any pushback that you're aware of?
Not significantly. And look, this has nothing to do with not passing immigration reform.
Right.
This has to do with President Obama refusing to obey the laws that are on the books to enforce border security.
Exactly.
Going back to the Secure Fence Act, which was Duncan Hunter, when he was in Congress, pushed forward, representative from San Diego. Congress voted the Secure Fence Act, and then Republicans like Kay Bailey Hutchinson in Texas came along and stripped the law of its, the necessity to build a fence by putting in an appropriations bill for DHS. The fence didn't have to be built if the local officials felt there was a better alternative to securing the border. So virtually no fence got built.
Right, right.
Okay.
Well, we now see that we've got an American general who's saying this is an existential threat to the United States. And of course, I'm sure you're aware this has been a plan for a long time to try to create a kind of martial law situation. I'm very concerned about a military buildup at our border. I'm even concerned about a fence. I want to remove the incentives that are drawing people in, but we can't even seem to do that, can we?
Well, you've got to have border security. You have to have a border.
Yes.
And one that's this porous has got to be secured. What does frighten me is this creeping big brotherism. I mean, the national security, the NSA being able to monitor every phone call, look at every email. I'm going to monitor our discussion on Skype and a radio broadcast, archive all this data. This is the beginning of a totalitarian state. It's the beginning of the state punishing people for thought crimes.
Yeah.
And the left is intolerant. The left is the one who are the globalists, and they're intolerant. They don't believe in First Amendment. They don't believe in free speech. They believe that, you're wrong if you disagree with them. You're immoral. You're not sufficiently evolved to understand, their lofty moral concepts. Well, their lofty moral concepts have been rejected by biblical principles going back 2,000 years and by the American exceptionalism, which even the Republicans deny. You've got
Well, there's a great deal of hypocrisy that's going on. We've got Joe Biden and Jerry Brown on record back in 1975 saying we can't take any more Vietnamese. We can't open up our borders to them. Why should we take care of them? And these are the same people who, as you pointed out earlier, they're looking to create a Democratic majority. This is essentially gerrymandering by importation, I believe. And, but part of that is, of course, it's a collapse the economy, rebuild it with this new demographic that they're bringing in. And then all of this fits into the globalist consolidation that we see going on. But I want to ask you about...
let me make a point.
Yes. Hang on. We're going to come back right after the break. We got to come back. I'll let you make your point. And I wanted to ask you about the hypocrisy of Homeland Security, the same agency opening up the borders completely and yet not standing down in any way whatsoever at the airports or on our roads. We'll be right back with Dr. Jerome Corsi. Stay with us.
How can you save a ton of money and prepare for emergencies? By having your own in-home freeze dryer from Harvest Right. Now you can cut down on wasted food by freeze drying your leftovers. That's right. Create your own long-term food storage by freeze drying your own fruits, meats, vegetables, even complete meals with the Harvest Right in-home freeze dryer. Imagine the savings and the peace of mind. See how the amazing Harvest Right freeze dryer works at harvestright.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Hi folks, Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his two-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.
Question: could too many GMO foods and toxins be overloading your digestive and immune systems? Answer: yes. If you're searching for a powerful detox that's gentle enough to use every day, use Pro-EM1 from Teraganix. Pro-EM1 is a powerful liquid probiotic that uses good bacteria to suppress pathogens and gently eliminate toxins from your body. A healthy digestive system will cleanse and remove toxins, support weight loss, improve absorption of food nutrients, and aid in controlling yeast and other infections. Pro-EM1 is made with only non-GMO and certified organic ingredients, has no preservatives, and is dairy, soy, wheat, and gluten-free. Pro-EM1 is the key to your digestive health. Order Pro-EM1 Daily Probiotic Cleanse at Teraganix.com, spelled Teraganix.com, or call toll-free 866-369-3678. That's 866-369-3678. Also available through Amazon Prime. Pro-EM1 from Teraganix. Life's getting better.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, and I have on the phone Dr. Jerome Corsi. We've just been talking about his article, the astonishing statement from General Petraeus in London a couple of weeks ago at the Thatcher Conference on Liberty, saying, what comes after America? And of course, his answer was the North American Union. And if you want to understand what's going on with the border collapse, it's not just the collapse of the border, the collapse of the economy, the rebuilding into a Democrat, or I should say a socialist majority, but it's also this consolidation. And just before we went to the break, we had to cut off Dr. Corsi. He wanted to make a point. Go ahead, Dr. Corsi. What was it that you wanted to say?
Well, I wanted to explain that this opening of the border is a conscious plan by the globalist political left in particular this time around, and the Democrats. There's a full understanding. By the time we have several million children, and they're not children, these are teenagers. Many of them are criminals. Many are gang members. Many are cartel members. Who knows who they are? We're not doing any background checks or medical checks. The next thing, it'll be chain immigration. The next thing that happens is they'll try to settle these children with relatives. These kids will want their parents and their other relatives to come here. The government stayed with this 13 million Hispanics immigrated into the United States. It could be 23 million. It could be 33 million. We don't really know. And it becomes a revolving door. Mm-hmm. So that pretty soon we are Central America. And the people who are here, work here to the extent they can. They're underclass. We're going to have to educate them. They'll vote Democrat. They'll want all the benefits they've been promised, food stamps, DREAM Act education, you name it. And then they'll go back to their countries to live in retirement with the money they've made here. But at the same time, they're coming with no understanding of America, of our history, of our values, of our Constitution. They're trained in a progressive sense. They are socialists. And the Democrats are fully understanding that their goal is to create Democratic voters, to erase the borders, and to push ahead into this global, socialist idea of a North American Union.
Well, yes, and of course, and they've been doubling the estimates of the number of people coming in just every couple of days. As you're pointing out, this is going to be very similar to the anchor babies that we've seen in the past, and yet this is going to be essentially anchor teens, if you will. But they're not even teenagers. I mean, they're not necessarily young children, teenagers. This includes people up to the age of 31, according to the DREAM Act.
And look, the Republicans are complicit in this because the Republicans are equally globalist. They want the idea of free labor. The Republicans have been told by the establishment Republican Party, including the Mitt Romneys of the world, that they'll offend the Hispanics if they're not Democrat light and go all the things the Democrats want to do. The Republicans should be saying, no, look, we'll have legitimate, legal immigration. We will have people here who we want here, who can contribute and can work. We want people who will build families, who will take an oath of allegiance to the United States of America, say the Pledge of Allegiance, not be part of Mexico or some other country in Central America, just living here. And that's part of the difficulty. We're not immigrating with an intent to absorb into America a new group of people. Yes. These people are bringing with them Central America and Mexico.
That's why immigration needs to be controlled, because there's a limit to how many people can be assimilated into a society without balkanizing it into different groups. I think this is very much Obama's youth core that he's talked about. Is that your take on it? Oh, looks like we're...
It's also identity politics, dividing one group against the other. The losers here are going to be the American blacks, unfortunately, and that's another long story.
Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Jerome Corsi, WND, and of course, he's written on this. We hope that we can get people to see the larger picture, and the larger picture is not just the Cloward and Piven, but it's also what replaces it. And of course, they've already seen that as NAFTA. Join us tonight at 7 o'clock Central, 8 p.m. Eastern for the Nightly News. Prison Planet TV.
GCNlive.com today.
I've always believed in nutrition and herbs. Super Male Vitality was developed to activate your body's own natural processes instead of using synthetic chemicals. sourced from powerful organic herbs, harvested around the planet, and then concentrated for maximum potency.
I just received my male vitality about 3 days ago, and I must say that is good stuff.
After consulting top doctors, nutritionists, pharmacists, and others, we have developed what I believe is the ultimate non-GMO organic Super Male Vitality formula. Super Male Vitality by InfoWars Life is so powerful that I only take half the recommended dose.
I jump out of bed ready to fight these criminals every day. I look forward to waking up and taking my Super Male Vitality and getting the day started.
It's not just the Super Male Vitality. All the products at InfoWarsLife.com are simply amazing. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today to secure your Super Male Vitality and other powerful products from InfoWars Life.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.